Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of the New Balance Made in USA 990 version 4 and the New Balance Made in USA 990 version 5. So the New Balance 990 line began all the way back in 1982 with the 990 version 1. In 1998, New Balance released an updated version of the 990 with the 990 version 2. And all the way in 2012, they released the third version, the 990 version 3. And in 2016, the shoe on the left of this video, the 990 version 4 was released. And finally, in 2019, the latest and greatest iteration of the 990 line was released, the version 5, which is the shoe on the right of this video. And also next year, 2022, they're planning to release the 990 V6, which is really exciting. And I can't wait to get my hands on the 6th version of the 990 line. So far, I've collected 4 out of 5 of the 990 version series. I'm still waiting on my pair of 990 V2s, and I'm definitely going to do a video comparison on all the 990s together. But for today, I'm going to be comparing the 4th and 5th version of the shoe. Starting with the toe boxes of the shoes, both 990 V4 and the V5 have a very similar toe box. In fact, I'd say the only real difference is the individual cuts of the materials and the overall shape of the toe box, and even then, those are very minor differences. For the most part, both have a gray suede mudguard. They both have a small panel of 3M reflective material at the top of the toe box, as well as most of the toe box being the gray mesh. And the toe box also is made out of darker gray synthetic nubuck, which also surrounds more gray mesh. And both of these are the same gray Castle Rock colorway, so they look very, very similar, and you'd need to be a real big New Balance fanatic to tell the difference if you just saw the toe boxes. On the left is the V4 and on the right is the V5. As I said, very similar toe boxes. Moving upwards, both shoes have very similar tongues and laces as well. In fact, I think the laces are the exact same laces. They're both thin, flat, almost wax-light white laces. They don't come with any other lace options, but I think white fits the classic gray colorway the best. They both have tongues made out of entirely gray mesh. Again, very similar. I'd say the only real difference on the tongue slash lace areas are the Made in USA 990 branding badges. On the V4, the Made in USA New Balance logo is a little different than the V5. It's on a piece of a dark gray fabric panel, and obviously it says 990 V4, whereas the 990 V5, it's actually on top of a lighter gray fabric panel. It feels like synthetic nubuck. It obviously says 990 V5 instead of V4, and the New Balance Made in USA little tag is different from the V4, and it's a bit more shiny. It's like a different plastic material compared to the material used for the V4's tag. Another similarity between both shoes has got to be the New Balance N logo. Both N logos on both shoes are big panels of plastic reflective material on top of a darker gray material beneath it. Both are also on top of a big panel of gray suede, but the V4 has a slightly different pattern of cutouts featuring the dark gray nubuck material and gray mesh, whereas the V5 only has one big panel of nubuck and mesh on the top area and connecting to the toe box, whereas the V4 has 2 little panels of mesh and nubuck. It's a very small change from the V4 to the V5, but it's still notable. Another notable difference between the V4 and the V5 has got to be near the upper ankle area. The V4's upper ankle area has a panel of mesh and synthetic gray suede, whereas the V5 has a different, bigger cut of mesh and a smaller cut of synthetic nubuck, but it also features this new clear plastic panel. I'm not exactly too sure what this plastic panel is for. Maybe it's for support for the upper lace eyelet, but it's definitely a new addition to the version line. Both shoes have some 990 branding printed on top of the suede near the back of the heel area as well. Probably one of the biggest area where they vary has got to be the back heel area. On the back heel area of the version 4, the top of the heel features a perforated 3M panel with Made in the USA branding printed on, whereas the V5 just has a small panel of gray mesh and no 3M. The middle badge is also quite different on both shoes. On the V4, you have a panel of that dark gray nubuck with the New Balance NB logo on top of a kind of plastic material printed in red, and the middle area of the V5 has a panel of 3M with two V logos stacked on top of each other. That's supposed to represent version 5, 5 being a Roman numeral V. Both feature a plastic heel cap, except on the version 4, the New Balance branding is a New Balance spellout, and the version 5 is the New Balance NB logo in black. Both ankle areas of both shoes are lined in that signature gray mesh. Both insoles of the shoes are black and have different New Balance branding printed on it, but the biggest difference about the insoles is that the 990 V4 is just a regular standard foam insole, whereas the New Balance 990 V5 actually features an Ortholite Comfort insole with special Ortholite foam. In a way, I like to call it, I like to say that you're almost getting a dual density foam system with the V5. It's like you're standing on top of the nice Ortholite foam and it's on top of New Balance's NCAP technology. So in a way, I like to say that it's like you're getting a dual density foam system in the V5. But in the V4, you're just stuck with a regular old insole unless you change it out, of course. But yeah, the version 4 comes with just a regular foam insole, and the version 5 comes with that improved Ortholite Ultra Soft Comfort insole. Both shoes also feature New Balance's signature proprietary midsole technology, NCAP, but both midsoles are slightly different. They are similar compared to the V3, V2, and V1, but there are still some minor differences in the shape. Another small point of difference comes from the outsoles of both shoes. Although similar, the traction pattern on the V4 is slightly different, and on the V5, the main traction pattern is slightly longer too, but they both feature the same rubber black surrounding it. So now that the side-by-side overview of the shoes are out of the way, I'll lace these up side by side and I'll show you how they both look on feet. So in terms of sizing, both the 990 V4 and the 990 V5 fits true to size in my opinion. I am a true size 9.5. I have both of these shoes in a size 9.5 and they both fit me well. But as I always say, if you have the chance to try either of these on before you buy them, I definitely recommend you do that since everyone's feet are different. And the fact that both of these come in wider and narrower sizing. So let's say if you go up half a size usually in your shoes because you have wide feet, I definitely recommend trying a wider sizing in either of these shoes with a standard length sizing, just in case. As for comfort, both of these shoes are insanely comfortable. I can't really tell the difference between them on feet. They both feature basically the same midsole. I mean, the shape and kind of design are definitely different, but on the inside, they both feel excellent on feet, and I really can't tell the difference between either of them. If in terms of comfort, both of them Both of them are great choices. Like, it's definitely not a big difference compared to like the version 1 and the version 5 like I showed in that video. I mean, the 990 line from the V4 to the V5, that was only like what, maybe 3 years apart. So it's no surprise that these shoes are very similar in terms of design, technology, and comfort. As for quality, of course, both of these are New Balance's signature Made in USA shoes, so quality is excellent. The pigskin suede feels great and soft to the touch, the mesh is very breathable and high quality, and the nubucks and the plastics also feel good, and the 3M also feels good in hand as well. They're both definitely high quality shoes, even though they are technically more mass produced in terms of New Balance's Made in USA lines. Overall, they're both very similar with some subtle differences, but you can't go wrong with either of them. Let me know in the comments which you prefer better. Do you prefer the 990 V4 or the V5? I personally like the overall design of the 990 V5 better. I personally think it looks a bit more modern and sportier than the V4. But the V4 is definitely a good looking shoe as well. Like I keep saying, they are very similar in design, and I could go either way really, but I think I'd give the slight edge over to the V5. I personally like this design better than the V4. And yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Follow me on my socials, and I'll definitely do a comparison between the V4 and my V3 later on, maybe this month. And when I eventually get the V2, I'll probably do a version 1 versus version 2 and a version 2 versus version 3 video as well. I'm definitely doing a lot of comparison videos out of the 990 line, and I think it's a great set of videos for the end of 2021, especially with the version 6 coming out next year in 2022. Like I said, I can't wait to get my hands on the version 6. It looks really dope. It has a combination of modern and retro design. It looks really comfortable, and I can't wait to compare it to the version 5.